Hello, Bulldog fans, and welcome to the National Tournament edition of Above the Net with head women's volleyball coach Dylan Butler. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've earned this opportunity here for sure, you and the ladies. The last time we got together, it was sophomore night. It was the end of October, last conference game against Panola. You just needed to win to roll into the Region 14 tournament with a win. You did that. You swept Panola. It was a great way to end the sophomores' career here as a last conference game. Took the match 3-0 and moved right on into the conference tournament. With that win, you truly secured your second place finish and the second seed in the conference tournament. So as you moved to the conference tournament, you advanced all the way to the semis because of your second place finish. So the first opponent that we met in the conference tournament was the folks across the river, Trinity Valley. We actually swept them 3-0 to win the match. So give us an overview of that game.
So the Trinity Valley match, I don't know what it is with my team right now, and just anytime we play Trinity Valley, they have this extra fire. It's probably because they're the team down the road. And it's been a really good year for Bulldog Athletics and playing against the team down the road. So, just preparing for them, it was kind of all the same. We were successful the first time we played them with our game plan, and we were more on point with how well we handled it the second time. So it was just refining at that point. We had our game plan, how well can we execute it, and in the region tournament we executed it perfectly.
And you don't want to be the one team in the fall that does not beat the team across the river.
Yeah.
So everybody stay true to that. So it's nobody has to be the team that has all the jokes made. Hey, you guys couldn't beat those folks on the other side. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So with that victory in the match with those folks on the other side of the river, that automatically advanced you into the championship match against our nemesis Blinn. We came up short in that match, 3-1, and had a defeat there. So talk to us a little bit about that championship match.
First off, congratulations to Blinn. They're a fantastic team. We really struggled to slow down their right side. Her name's Kellen Dortick. She's the #1 hitter in the country. She's left-handed, which in volleyball, if you're left-handed, you automatically have an advantage because nobody knows how to block a left-handed person. We've struggled with it during conference. We managed it better the first time we played Blinn than we did the next 2 times. We kept it very competitive though. It's unfortunate we had 2 ankle rolls in the beginning of the game that just poor timing. We rallied around and were able to take a set. I was hoping that we would be able to come off of some momentum from that third set win, but just kind of came out flat, tired. I think they expended so much energy in the semifinal that I don't think they were really prepared for the final, which is a good lesson going into the national tournament. Every loss is a lesson, and they've done a very good job of learning from those losses. And just credit to Blinn. They executed their game plan and were able to come out on top.
Well, you can at least say you made it to the championship
Yes.
match. So, and then that leads us up to why we're here. We are filming this coach's show the day of the announcement of all the teams that are going to be participating in the national tournament. And of course, the Navarro Bulldogs are an at-large team, and we are the 11th seed in the tournament that will take place in Clarksville, Tennessee, on the campus of Austin Peay State University at the Dunn Center. So, Coach, as we talk about the bid and the seeding, give us an idea of what the committee looks for as they make those choices and how they seed those teams.
So I know that the teams that get their bid and qualify earlier than the at-large, they fill out kind of a seeding report. who they think, should be where. And I believe all of the coaches do a pretty good job being as unbiased and as realistic as possible. And then those seating reports get taken to a committee, and then the committee votes once all the region tournaments are done, all the cross-district matches are done. They look at it from terms of, they look all the way back to which ranked matchups did you play in the beginning of the season and who was on top. Then they kind of separate it down to, okay, as a region, who was more successful against another region. That's kind of how it's trickled down to where we are getting the 11th seed as an at-large. Our region as a whole, for those being represented, Trinity Valley, us, and Blinn, we had more success over some of the other teams that, in terms of a region, that kind of placed us at a higher place than the other ones that might have naturally qualified. So really it's all in the committee's hands. It's the information they choose that's more important at the time, but we're just very fortunate that we got in the position that we're in.
That's a very unique way of adding to the selection process when you mentioned that automatic bids have the opportunity to fill out a seating review and send that in to the committee. Have you, and you mentioned that the coaches aren't biased, but they're going to be more apt to focus in on the teams in their region, their area that they've played, and that's something that's very unique as far as a selection process or being able to add to a selection process. Have you been in a situation where you felt like you should have received an automatic bid and didn't, and wonder if that seeding piece had something to do with that?
I haven't, but on another side of it, where we were my first year as head coach when I was at Hill, we got an automatic bid. We won our region, and we got seeded lower than teams that got the at-large. We were the 16th seed. Again, this was before I knew the whole process of everything, and that kind of got me down a little bit because we ended up playing the number one team in the country in the first round. It was it was a challenging game, but now that I understand the process, like it makes sense.
Okay.
I think it's the most fair way to go through the 200 plus teams that are in the country.
Which is a task.
Yes.
It is an absolute task. Okay, so we've got our seeding. You mentioned Blinn and Trinity Valley. This tournament is a bracketed tournament, unlike the softball tournament where it's pool play, and depending on how well you do in pool play, that will dictate your advancement into the bracketed piece of that tournament. And we're a bracket tournament here. We're on one side, Blinn and Trinity Valley are on another. But talk to us about the way this bracket works.
So it's a double elimination tournament. Pretty much, if a team loses your first game, you get put into the contenders bracket. And when you're in the contenders bracket, pretty much you're competing for your seeding in the national rankings next year. If you make it out of that first day, you have, I wouldn't say an easier chance, you have a better chance of still making it to the national final. If you lose your second match, then you get into a position where you can compete on that last day, the Saturday, and compete for the 7th and 8th place game. And then you win all the way, you win 3 games in a row, then you're in contention for a 3rd, 4th match or championship match. So it's double elimination, but there's a lot of opportunity to still continue playing and just continue playing and compete and just do whatever you got to do.
And try to finish as high as you possibly can. So, like everything, even with a double elimination, it's there, but if you lose, you put yourself further behind as far as having the opportunity to finish at a higher spot. Mm-hmm. But win the first match, it gives you a better opportunity to finish higher and or continue to win to get to that final day on Saturday where you're playing for all the marbles.
All the marbles.
All the marbles. Well, let's talk about our bracket. In our bracket, we have the number 3 seed New Mexico Military Institute. They will face off with the number 14 seed Indian Hills. And then our portion of that particular bracket, we're going to face Barton Community College. They are the number 6 seed. And of course, we are number 11 in that bracket. So, Coach, let's talk about Barton Community College and give us your thoughts and your overview of that team.
So we played Barton in opening weekend at a tournament in Garden City, Kansas. They won it 3-0. I will say that the difference maker is going to be, at the time, they were a more together team. We were still trying to figure things out. And now I believe we're in a place where we've figured things out. We click as a team, we vibe as a team. So I think it's going to be a very different game, and a game that they're not going to be expecting. Having played us, they're going to have that confidence, like, oh, we walked through them the last time. Like I said, we're a completely different team right now. We're executing things much more efficiently. I mean, in the region tournament, our average hitting percentage was 300, which we haven't had a 2-day playing stretch where we've hit over 300. So I think we're in a good place to keep carrying that on. Big thing we got to look out for with Barton is they have an incredible libero that she passes almost the entire court. So our strategy is we're very tough from behind the service line, and with her ability to pass, it's hard to use that tool. So we're going to be trying to play with some different things, see if we can get them out of rhythm in other ways. And then their big hitter is one of their right sides. I believe she's from the Dominican Republic. That girl is a baller. So the game plan's got to be, don't stop her, slow her down.
Okay.
Kind of just limit her ability to score on us, and make other people do things.
So is she right-handed or left-handed?
She is a right-handed player.
All right, good.
Which, again, a little bit of a plus, not having to go against 2 lefties. But they do have another lefty that plays in their offensive system. It's called the 6-2. So they have two right sides and 2 setters. The other right side that does come in, she is left-handed. So we have to kind of flip back and forth between, okay, now we have a right-handed person. Okay, now we have the left-handed person. So it can kind of be a little confusing for the block and just paying attention to who's up. But the lefty will be effective, but she isn't, at least from my memory, she isn't as dominant as the other one. So the main goal is going to be when that girl's in, we slow her down, we make other people do things, and just, big thing for us in the last half of the season's been we just play better defense than anyone else. So just get the ball up and let our defense do the work, and then, if we can get the ball to one of our top scorers, get the ball there, and then we get behind the service line and can do what we do behind the service line. So
you don't change. You're not going in with a whole lot of changes, maybe an adjustment here and there to attack different areas. I'm talking offensively for you. As you attack them, you're not doing a whole lot of changes there, are you?
So for us, what I've found the last couple of years is sometimes just keeping things simple is best. We've tried to, hey, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, and then we get into the game and it's completely gone out of their minds. So I want us to be really good at what we do, and if we change something for somebody we're playing against, it's like maybe 1 or 2 things, but the foundation of our game stays the same, because our serving, our defense, and our ability to score in transition, like that's the core of our program, that's the core of our offense, and that's what we're always practicing. That's what we want to be known for and be really good at. So if we spend too much time like adjusting for each opponent, we're never going to really get to that level where we're really good at what we do at. So that's kind of the tone for this season was keep it simple, just get really good at what we do. And I believe we're at a point where we're really good at what we do.
That's good, because you can outcoach your own self.
Yes.
You can outthink yourself. You can outplan yourself. And when you get away from what you're talking about, doing what you do best, you can totally discombobulate your program and the momentum that you have going into any match. Okay, so we've got a layout of game one. Game two will dictate win or loss, and we won't spend a whole lot of time with Indian Hills because you don't know much about them at this time, right? But you do have a little background with New Mexico military. Would you like to talk about them just a little?
Yeah, so we played against them. It was third week in the season. Lost to them in 4. Again, they're a team that just has an incredible libero, passes most of the court. And the thing with them is they're just very low error, and that's kind of their team identity, or not just team, their program identity. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And we just made a lot of mistakes. And again, we were still trying to figure out who we were as a team at that point. So I think if we can make it past the first round and we get matched up against Nemi, then again, we're in a different place where we know who we are now and we're good at what we do. It'll be a different game. That and just in big moments, a lot of the players on the team shine brighter in big moments. Like even though we lost to Blinn in the region finals, like we had players that thrived in those big moments. And Kaya Gordon had 15 kills in 4 sets, which is really good. She hit 250, and then Lee Ivakina, she had 17 kills and hit 350. So like those 2 players like really shine in big moments. So if we can get at least 2 more people to shine in big moments at the national tournament, I think we'll be set.
You mentioned a couple of points there. You talked about the libero being able to pass the court, and you said something about low
air.
Low air. All right. So for those out there that don't have the lingo or that ability to understand, let's first talk about what being able to pass the court means and what it looks like.
So typically, a big thing for passing the court, like in our serve receive when the other team is serving, we'll pull back 3 passers. Some programs pull back with 4. Others, will push and have 2 passers passing. The libero for New Mexico military and for Barton, they take about almost 3/4 of the court by themselves. They'll show that they're passing with 3, and then the minute we hit the ball, I mean, she's taking all of the court. It's really hard to serve with pressure because the minute you hit the ball, it's like, okay, where's she going to be? So she's both of them do a very good job of passing the whole court. And then to being low air, volleyball is a game of mistakes. It's whoever makes 25 mistakes first. And early on in the season, we were not the greatest hitting team. We hit a lot of balls out. We hit right into the block and got blocked. Again, just trying to figure out our system and what works best. And we had some confidence issues with hitters early on, but now we're good now. We don't make as many hitting errors, and then, with us being a tough serving team, we have to live with making service errors. So that's something that in our equation that we'll kind of sit down and kind of factor in, how many service errors can we give in a game if we're doing, we have one player getting 15 kills in a game, we have another getting 17, and we have this equation. So we're sitting at about like we can live with 4 service errors a set. So we're okay with giving away 4 points. So we have to make sure that the girls understand that with that 4 points gone, can we save 4 points that maybe they would score otherwise. So yeah, just that's the thing with Nemi. They don't make mistakes.
Gotcha. That's a unique way of terming that too.
Yeah.
It's the first team that doesn't make 25 mistakes instead of it's first team to 25 points.
Yep.
Very unique way of wording that and talking about that. Now that we're in the national tournament, the excitement of today's announcement has trickled down and everybody understands, and it's down, and we're now in the mode of planning. So as a coach and travel guide or travel agent, and and made, so to speak, having the girls' uniforms ready,
Yep.
Volleyballs to take, and anything and everything that you do. Kind of give us an overview of the things that once we're done here, you're going to go right to work. So talk to us a little bit about what your job's going to be like here in the next few days.
So it's beneficial that I've had this experience prior, so I know what is entailed in it. So when we knew that we were in a position to possibly receive an at-large, like me and my assistants, we sat down and started planning, okay, like if we do, what's our travel going to look like? Where are we going to stop? Where are we going to eat? We have to figure out things for the girls to do in downtime, and just started building a 5-page long itinerary. And then once we got the news today, we went straight to work planning, getting our bus form sent out, getting all of our meals approved, working with AD and figuring out the logistics of how we're going to pay for it. It's been a busy morning, but I've lost sleep over it the last 2 days. So I got a plan, and we're just got to start putting all the pieces. And as soon as we found out about the bid, we had to submit our rosters to NJCAA, our pass list, who's going to be traveling to see the game. We had to submit a 30-second hype video, which thankfully the staff here got straight to work and got it done in a matter of an hour and a half or so. Just the to-do list is endless, and it'll be a busy next couple of days.
Well, congratulations on the bid for sure.
Thank you.
And we are as excited as you are and look forward to what the tournament has in store. A couple of questions. Question one, does the NJCAA block off a set of rooms for every team?
So they partner with different hotels, and then they assign hotels based on your seating.
Okay.
So, or if you were an at-large or an automatic bid. So we got assigned a hotel for being the number 2 at-large bid.
Okay.
So the minute that was announced, I got an email saying, you're at this hotel, we need XYZ to complete your reservation. And so I believe there's only 2 teams per hotel, which is smart. That way you don't get 4 teams that might play against each other in one hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all predetermined. And the fun thing is going to be the banquet. The banquet will be next Tuesday night. And they're doing it, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's pretty much like main event. So they'll have the nice formal part. They're going to do a red carpet entrance when teams come in. We'll have dinner, and then the girls get to go play arcade games, bowling, mini golf, whatever they want to kind of just enjoy the moment.
That's good. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And last question I have, and I'm just curious myself, do they schedule practice times for you? And would it be there on the campus at Austin Peay?
Yeah, so they'll have 2 courts going at the same time. So their facility is ginormous, but they'll set up 2 courts and then they'll have space in between. So each team is designated a practice time based on your seed. So with us being the 11th seed, we practice on Tuesday at, I believe, 9 a.m. And each practice you get 55 minutes.
Okay.
And pretty much that practice time isn't necessarily to work on anything, it's to get used to playing. How high is the ceiling? From when you go back to serve, trying to find out your depth perception and where there's a court, where can I put the ball. So that's really what that's geared towards, and just kind of getting used to the feeling of the space you're going to be competing in. And it's really a good chance for the girls just to kind of get comfortable and get those pre-game jitters out a little bit early before the first match.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And those are little nuances of things that you kind of described, or things that coaches look for,
Yep.
and even your players would even talk about that too. So it sounds like a very neat experience that the girls are going to have, your team, your staff together will have going into next week. The tournament starts on Wednesday, November 20th, and it's carries straight through to Saturday, November 23rd. So, Coach, before we close things up here for the year, because the next time you and I will talk will be next year when we go above the net, is there anybody you'd like to thank or anything you'd like to say before we close out this session?
Yeah, so I'd first like to thank Dr. Fagan and our athletic director, Michael Landers, for just being amazingly supportive to the girls, to me and the staff throughout all of this. You know, we've had some ups and downs throughout the season, and they were always the ones that were, you know, hey, just get back to work, nose to the grindstone, you guys will be fine. And especially throughout the process of getting to nationals, like Michael Landers has just been like, he helps take a lot off of my plate, where in my experience before it was all on me to figure everything out. So I'm very grateful for his assistance in all of this. And just Dr. Fagan, he's at all of our home games. You know, it's very fortunate that he has a volleyball background. I love sitting and talking volleyball with him, and just hearing his observations of what he sees, and he's always the biggest, you know, supporter at the end of the game, comes and gives us all a hug, and you know, he knows all the girls' names and where they're from, and he knows all their positions. Like he's just one in a million kind of person, especially when it comes to, you know, being a supporter of the volleyball team while the president of the college. So I thank them with all my heart, and then I'd also like to thank my wife, who's also my assistant, Pam. She's amazing, because during season, you know, even when I'm gone for games, I don't get home till everyone, my wife and daughter, are asleep, and a lot of times I'm up before they are. So we'll go almost a whole week without seeing each other, and she's you know, keeping our house running, making sure daughter gets to school, dog gets taken care of, while she's working her regular job and finishing her master's degree, and just also coming to help coach when she can. You know, she'll be at the national tournament, which is going to be a really cool moment for both of us. But just her support through all of it, and allowing me to chase my dreams. And, you know, since we started our relationship, it's been, she's always been my biggest supporter, and I can't thank her enough. So those three are my thank yous.
Sounds good. Well, we as your supporters and followers, thank you for all the work that you and your staff put in. We thank your team for all the work that they put in, but also just how they represent not only themselves, but you and your ideas and everything you stand for as a coach, and what your program stands for. And then also the fact that they give so much back to the community, whether it's here directly on campus or when they go out and give their time and their effort to help different causes out in our community. Those are big pieces of character building, and your girls show that they are of high character, and you should be very proud of them, and I feel like you truly are. But we also want to thank you for everything that you've done as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, that does it for Above the Net, the 2024 version of Above the Net. I'd like to thank Jonathan Seaton, our technological genius who keeps us up and running. Also, Coach Dylan Butler and everything that he's done this season, and we wish him and his ladies a very, very, very wishful good luck. We want them to play well and represent themselves, because we know that their heart's totally into it, and this is the goal that they've been trying to reach. And now it's about winning games, winning matches, and we wish them the best as they move forward in this national tournament. We really appreciate you joining us each and every opportunity that we've had to bring the Coaches Show to you, and we hope to see you next year. Keep your eyes out for the tournament opportunities to watch the tournament. You could probably go to the NJCAA website and stream the tournament, but there might be a charge in it, just so you know. So when you get there, don't think that you're going to get it for free. I think you're going to end up having to pay a charge. So just be prepared. But to close, I'm your host, Richie Cottrell. Thanks to head volleyball coach Dylan Butler and Jonathan behind the scenes. We wish you the best, and let's go Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.